Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our beginner's class. So we're going to start today in child's pose. So let's come back to the middle of the mat and just allow your knees to slightly open. Bring your big toes together and draw your tailbone down towards your heels. Reach and extend your arms forward and let your hips move back, pushing your hips back with your hands, and stretch the fingers as far forward as you can, trying to really press your sits bones to your heels. And then just let your forehead come down to the mat. And if you can't bring your forehead to the mat, you can use a block if you have one, or you can even use a towel or something that will let your head rest on, because you don't want your head to be hanging up, and you want to do the best you can to not really have your butt be up. So just try to sit back as far as you can, and then just rest the forehead down. And taking a few deep inhales and exhales here. Inhale through your nose, and let's exhale, sighing it out through the mouth. And again, deep inhale through your nose, and sigh it out through the mouth. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, sigh it out, and sink your body closer to the floor. Just relax. Let your hips open, releasing any tension and tightness here. So we're just going to stay here just to prepare ourselves for our practice. So if this feels a little challenging with practice, it gets to become a little bit more familiar and feels a little easier to do. But right now, just try to do the best that you can to relax your whole body. Let your mind just clear away any negative thoughts, any thoughts that you might have. And just bring your awareness, your focus into your breath to help guide you to the present moment. And then slightly raise your head. Just come onto the palms, lifting the arms. Walk your hands all the way over to the right side. And draw your left buttock down towards the heel. Just press that left buttock towards the heel to stretch into the left side of your body. And then let's come center and take it over to the left side so that we stretch into the right side of your body, pressing the right buttock down towards the right heel. And then let's return back to center, taking another stretch. We're going to come on to all fours. Once your shoulders are over your palms, bring your knees back under your hips. And let's take the left hand and take it onto the back of the hand. Slide that left hand behind your right wrist and keep reaching and stretching through the left fingers. Lower the left temple down, the left ear or cheek to the floor. And if your head can't get to the floor, you can use that block if you need to. And just let your head rest. And just keep reaching with the left fingers to come into this twist. Make sure that you're breathing in and out through your nose, so try to avoid opening your mouth and breathing out your mouth. And then slowly take that hand and bring it back right underneath your left shoulder. And coming to the other side, turn the right palm up towards the ceiling, slide it behind your left wrist. And keep reaching as your right shoulder lowers, bringing your right temple, ear, and cheek down to the floor. Bringing your left buttock up towards the ceiling. And breathing here in through the nose, out through the nose. And slowly come back. Bring the right palm back underneath your shoulder. And allowing your knees to continue to stay under your hips. Spreading your fingers wide. Let's come into some cat and cow, opening up into our back. So we're going to start by coming into cow pose, curl the toes, and allow the tailbone to tilt up. Let your chest press forward and lift your head. And then as you exhale, flatten your toes to the mat. Draw the navel into the back of the spine, and rounding the back, draw the chin into the chest. Inhale, let the toes curl. Let the tailbone tilt up, bringing your head up. Exhale, rounding through the back, taking your chin to chest. And one more time, allow the toes to curl, tilt the tail, head lifts up. And rounding through your cat pose, exhale, pull the belly in, chin to chest. And return to a neutral spine. Keeping both palms flat, knees directly under your hips. Let's start to press the right hip out to the right side and then circling the hips around. So circling around. You're going to feel this a little bit in your wrist, so try to feel as if you're lifting out of your wrists, out of your palms. So pull the belly in and really suck that navel into the back of the spine. Try to keep from letting those knees splay out. So you want to squeeze your inner thighs together. And take it around one last time, and then when you come center, stop through center and take the left hip out to the left side, swinging it forward and around. So making a circular motion here with your hips. And stay with your Ujjayi breath. That's the breath that's moving through the back of your throat. You want to listen to that breath. Let it guide you, let it move you. And then coming through center here, let's curl the toes, bring the hands slightly further forward. We're going to lift the knees off the mat and raise your hips up as you draw your crown towards the mat. Press your right heel to the floor and bend your left leg at the knee. Let's hold this stretch here into the right calf. And then switch it out. Left heel presses and bend the right knee. Continue to drop the crown of your head towards the floor. And then let the right heel press down once again. Go even a little deeper, feel that stretch, and switch it out. Left heel now presses as the right knee bends. And then pressing both heels down to the floor, let's take our feet and we'll open them a little bit wider. Make sure the toes are facing forward. And we're going to walk the hands now towards the feet. Bend your knees if you need to, and keep those knees slightly bent. And let's grab hold of the opposite elbows. We're going to hang here. Just let the back round, let the shoulders hang, let the head hang. Shake your head yes, and then just shake it no, so that you release neck and tension in the neck and shoulders. And then let your arms collapse down, and then slowly bringing your hands forward once again, taking that wide down dog. And we're going to walk the feet all the way forward. So you bring your feet in a little closer, and then walk your feet until they come to the very top of your mat. Once you get your feet there, bring the big toes to touch and slide your hands up your shins, straighten your spine, straighten your legs. Fold with your exhale. Lengthen again, inhale and exhale, fold. And this time bend the knees and take your arms out to the side. Start to straighten your legs. Pull the belly into the back of the spine. Lift your arms all the way up as you come up to stand straight. Bring your hands to prayer. Slowly take the hands to the center of your heart. And from here, let's lift the arms all the way up. Keep the heels of your hands together, stretching up as high as you can. Right, get those arms as straight as you can and interlace your fingers with your pointer fingers pointing up. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale, press over to the right, pressing the left hip out to the side. So nice lateral stretch. Keep reaching through the tips of the fingers, pulling that left shoulder down away from the ear. Come up through center on your inhale. With your exhale, move over to the left now and pressing that right hip out. Try to get both arms as straight as possible. Pulling the right shoulder down away from the ear. Come back up through center. Inhale. Exhale, float the arms all the way down and take the hands back into prayer, into the center of your heart. And let's stay here in this mountain pose with our hands into the chest. Bring your big toes together and feel that you're rooting into all four corners of your feet with your arches lifting up. Feel an outward rotation of your hips, engaging your quadriceps. Make sure your tailbone is pressing down so the tailbone tucks under slightly. The navel pulls into the back of the spine, shoulders down away from the ears, and chin level with the mat. Let your eyes slowly close. If you're feeling uneasy with the eyes closed, you can let them stay open, but keep your gaze forward. So your focal point would be at a spot somewhere on the wall in front of you. And just take a few moments as you stay grounded, feel grounded, stay connected to the mat, to the earth, feeling this union. And slowly let the eyes open. Inhale, take the arms all the way up, folding forward back into our forward fold. So place your hands wherever they come onto your shins, keeping the legs straight. Maybe the hands can come down to the mat, but you want to not round your back. You want your spine to be long. So pull the shoulders back away from the ears, feeling the stretch coming into your right and left hamstring. So pull the shoulders back, draw your navel in, tuck your tail under so that you avoid the arch in the lower back. From here, turn your head to look right, and then look down to the floor, and turn the head left, looking down to the floor, and turning right, and look to the floor, and turning left, and look to the floor. Bending the knees slightly, take the arms out in T, start to straighten the legs as you hinge from the hips. Come all the way up, bring your palms together, and slowly take those hands back into our mountain pose. Thumbs into the center of the chest. Eyes can stay open or closed, whatever feels natural for you. Let's raise both arms all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to fold forward, and we're going to step back with the left leg. So when the left leg goes back, you're going to take it into a lunge position. So wiggle that left foot back, bend that right knee so it comes right over your ankle, and push back through your left heel. Lower the left knee down to the floor, and either sweep the arms back behind you and lift your chest, or press your hands onto your right thigh and lift your chest off the right thigh. You want to just come up to stand on that left knee, and then allow the hips to press forward and tuck your tail under. So you're going to feel the stretch opening into the left hip flexor. Shoulders pull back away from the ears, and as your shoulder blades draw together, the chest expands, but you're tucking your tail under to try and avoid arching that lower back. And then from here, bring both hands down on either side of your right foot. Curl your toes and take your left knee off the mat, and bring your left foot forward to meet the right. Switching it out, right leg is going to move back for your lunge. Wiggle that right foot back as far as you can. Let that right knee come down, making sure your left knee is over the ankle, and flatten the toes on your right foot. Sweeping the arms back or placing the hands onto your left side. Tuck your tail under and start to hinge from your hips. Just come back and stand on that right knee, and then move your hips forward. So we don't want to be putting pressure on the right knee. We want the hips to move forward, and try to keep that right hip further forward of your right knee. Tucking your tail under, pulling the belly in, and getting a stretch into that right hip flexor. So if your arms are back, you could bring them up. So wherever you feel comfortable in your lunge position here. Bring both hands back down to the mat. Curl your back toes as the right knee lifts, and then as you inhale, bring your right foot to meet the left. Exhale here. Inhale, long spine, arms out in T. Hinge from your hips, and then come up. Bring the arms up, and take the hands back to the center of the heart one last time here. We just stand and hold in our mountain pose. Take a moment to feel the connection that you've made with your breath, the floor, with the earth, with your mat. And slowly let your eyes open, bring your arms down. We're going to take a big step with the right foot going back, and when we take that foot back, we're going to turn towards the right, towards the long edge of your mat. So when you're turning to the long edge of the mat, make sure both toes are facing that long edge, and the outer side of your feet are in alignment with the shorter edges of your mat. Bring your hands onto your hips and tuck your tail under. Pull the belly in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, pulling your elbows in towards each other, but keep the navel drawn into the back of the spine. As you pull those elbows in, start to lift your chest. So try to just let the chest lift. Try not to thrust your pelvis forward. So lift your chest into your back bend, keeping that squeezing the belly. Pull those elbows towards each other. Exhale, fold forward. Keep that navel drawn in so that you want to avoid that lower back from arching. And then just begin to fold. And just take it as far as you can, keeping the belly pulled in, keeping those elbows squeezing towards each other. Continue to fold with a flat back, and try not to round through the back. So you don't want to draw the shoulders down, and you don't want to let the head hang. So the crown of your head is in alignment with your tailbone. If you need to, you can bring the block directly underneath your nose, because we're going to place the hand down. If placing the hand down allows you to bend your knees, you don't want that to happen. You want to keep the legs straight. So use your block or anything else that you can elevate you up a little higher from the floor. If you're flexible enough and can bring your hand down to the mat, keeping the legs bent, straight, then you can do that. So once your right hand comes down, take your left arm and stretch it up to the ceiling for a little twist here. And breathe. Look up towards your left thumb. Nice deep inhale and exhale. So again, you want that back to be long. You want to tuck your tail under. Just use the block as your tool to bring the floor to you. Sweep the left hand around and hold to the right hip as you rotate open the left shoulder. If this is too intense, you can leave the hand on your lower back, but keep trying to rotate the shoulder back and away from your ear. And release the left arm back up, and let's bring it back to the floor or the block. Switching it out, right arm is going to extend up, coming into your twist. And breathe here. Make sure both hips are turned downward, and let that right arm extend up. See if you can take that right hand, wrap it around, maybe find your left thigh, left hip, and the right shoulder moves back, looking up. If that's too much on your shoulder, you can place the hand onto your lower back, but try to really pull both hips down to the floor. And then release the right arm up, and then take that hand right down next to your left hand. We're going to bring both hands back onto the hips. Pull your navel in, tuck your tail, pull the elbows towards each other, and hinge from your hips, slowly coming up. Take a little bit of a back bend, so let the chest lift. Draw the head back and come back to center. So our legs are in a wide position here now. So we're taking it right into a warrior two position. So we'll start with the left foot turning to the front of the mat. So we'll turn the whole left leg and the toes to face the shorter edge of your mat. You want to bring your hips so that they're rotating more to the longer edge. Bending your left leg at the knee, let that left inner thigh rotate open. So you want to avoid having that left knee dropping down and pointing to the diagonal. You want to have that whole left knee moving towards the front of your mat, towards the middle toe. And as you are here, raise your arms up from the shoulder blades. Reach and extend out left fingers and right fingers, so long from fingertip to fingertip. And try to keep those shoulders pulled down away from the ears. And keep gazing down the left fingers, finding that left thigh staying parallel to the floor. Make sure your right leg is strong and pressing down to the edge of the mat. Bring both arms all the way up. Straighten your left leg, then turn the toes so that they angle more to the longer edge of the mat, and bring your right foot to face towards the back of your mat. And then bend your right leg and open the arms. So your right knee is moving towards that shorter edge of the mat. Right thigh is opening outward. So not drawing that knee down, but trying to pull the knee towards the right pinky toe. Press down and ground through the edge of your left foot. And breathe. Soften the shoulders, pull the belly in. Try to take the arch out of your lower back. And let's raise both arms all the way up, turning your right toes towards the larger side of the mat. Open the left toes, taking it back into warrior two as you bend the knee. So making that transition right into a reverse warrior. Left palm turns up and draw the right hand down towards your right leg. Lift the left arm, stretch it up, and bring it close to your ear. So draw the shoulder down. Try not to bring the shoulder up into the ear. Pull it away. And reaching with the left fingers. Gazing up if it's comfortable to the inner left elbow. Pull the belly in. Root down through the edge of your right foot. And release your torso back center. Both arms up. Straighten your left leg. And taking your feet back to that warrior two position, and as you bend the right leg back into that warrior two and reversing the warrior. Turn the right palm up and let the left hand lower. Right arm reaches and extends up. So the more you pull that right hip away from the rib cage, the more you engage in a deeper stretch to the right side. And look up to the inner elbow, keep reaching, draw the right shoulder down, and let those left fingers slide down towards that left ankle, keeping that left leg strong. Inhale back up. Exhale here, and both arms come up. Inhale, and turn your left foot forward, keeping your arms up. Adjust so both hips are facing towards the front of your mat. Bend your left leg and take your right foot to meet the left. Bring both hands to prayer and hold here. And take a moment just to notice, so you may feel that your heart rate is increased. Make sure that you're feeling that deeper connection to your breath. That breath that's flowing in is our Ujjayi breath. So you want to make sure you're listening to the sound that the breath is making. You want to feel that it's traveling through the back of your throat. So you're breathing through your nose, but you want to listen to the sound the breath is making through the throat area. And connect to that sound. Let it really fill your whole body. And just feel that you're present here and as well as connected to the earth. And slowly let your eyes open. Lift both arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. So long spine. Take your hands to your shins. Slide the hands down. Keep the shoulders pulled back. Press your hips back. And then if you're able to bring both hands down without bending the knees, you can do that. Otherwise, bend your knees and step your left leg back. You're going to step the right leg back into a down dog. Drop the crown of the head to the mat. Lift your hips up. And let's just lower to the floor into tabletop position. Palms come under the shoulders and knees are under the hips. Keep those fingers spread wide. Then bring the left leg, extending it back, and draw your left hip down to the floor. Take the right arm and reach and extend the right hand alongside your ear. Try to get your left leg to lift and go straight back. Try to keep that left hip centered down, and right arm comes alongside your ear. Keep the crown of your head extended forward, and then bring the hand down and lower the knee. Other side, the right leg is going to come up. Make sure that you're not turning your hips. You want to square that hip down to the floor. Point the toes to keep that right leg strong. And when you're ready, bring the left arm extended alongside the left ear. And breathe. Keep letting that right leg stay lifted, but not higher than your hip. So finding your balance, continue to find your breath. Inhale, lower the palm, and take your right knee back down to the mat. From here, we're going to curl the toes. And as we curl the toes, we're going to sit back onto the heels. And once you sit back onto your heels, slide your hands back and let the hands come onto the side, stretching into the soles of your feet. Tuck your tail under, so making sure that you're avoiding that lower back from arching. Keep your shoulders down away from the ears. And let's bring our hands in prayer position. And let go of any tension that you're feeling. So you may really feel this stretch coming into the soles of the feet, into the arches of the feet. And just let your focus be on your breathing so that you're not directing your awareness into the stretch, but more into allowing the stretch to happen, but you're just connecting to your breath. And then slowly let your eyes open. Take your hands to your sides. Slide your hands forward. And then let those toes relax back to the mat. And open your knees, taking a child's pose. Draw the tailbone down. So coming back to where we originally started our practice. Resting the forehead down to the floor or to your block or a blanket, whatever you have. And just press your hips back. And maybe you notice that you're able to come a little deeper into child's pose after just moving into those postures that we've already gone into. So we're going to come back onto all fours, back into tabletop position, and we're going to move a little bit more deeper into that posture that we've done with the leg and the arm lifted. So get back into tabletop with your shoulders over your palms and your knees directly under your hips. Take the left leg back, so the left hip is facing down. The right arm extends forward. And just hold here for a breath. Deep inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, Bend the knee towards your elbow and take your chin to your chest. Try to touch the elbow with the knee. Exhale, reach and extend forward. Find your balance. Pull the belly in. Again, grounding. Knee touches elbow and reach and extend. And last time, pull it in and reach and extend. And we're going to hold it here for 3 counts. So draw that left hip down. Inhale. And exhale, pulling the navel into the back of the spine. Make sure you're lifting out of that left hand. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, take it down. Palm under the shoulder, knee under the hip. Taking the right leg, extending it back. Draw the right hip down to the mat. And let your left arm come up. So finding your balance first before we begin to move. And then you're going to round the back as you take the elbow to your knee, chin to chest. And reach and extend. Exhale, stretching as far forward as you can. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, lengthen out. Let go. And pull in. And reach and extend, and we're going to hold here for 3 counts. So let that right hip face the floor, left arm alongside your ear. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, place the knee down and the left palm down, and taking it back to child's pose once again. Draw the tailbone down, reach and extend your arms. So our child's pose is a resting pose. So as we begin, sometimes we need to rest a lot more than when we get more advanced. So as we advance more and become more comfortable with the postures, we don't have to take as many rests as you might when you first begin. But sometimes, even if you've been practicing for a very long time, you may need a rest. So it's always about listening to what you feel you need in your practice. So the arms are extended forward. Lift your forehead. Keep your arms off the floor. Just your palms are on the mat. And come back up onto your knees. Take your knees back under your hip. Curl your toes and let's lift the knees. Draw the head down. Pull the belly into the back of the spine. We're going to take our left leg, lift it all the way up to the ceiling. Keep that left hip facing the mat. And we're going to walk the hands to the right foot. So let your right heel start to push down, keeping the length in your spine, keeping the left hip angled down. Walk in only as far as you can, keeping the right leg straight. So if you start to bend your knee, then don't move your hands in closer. So stretching into that right hamstring, just keep walking and drawing the crown of your head towards your mat, towards your toes. And let the left leg lift, the right leg stay straight. So you're going to feel an intense stretch through that right hamstring. A little bit into that right hip as you pull that right hip up. Then walk your hands back to your 3-legged dog and lower the left foot down. Switching it out, right leg is going to lift. Draw the right hip down to the floor. Start to press that left heel to the floor, keeping the left leg straight. Toes of your right foot are facing down. Right hip is facing down. Walking in. Let your head hang. Let your heel press down. Walk in only as far as you can, keeping the left leg straight and raising that right leg up. Then slowly walk forward. Back to your down dog. Lower the right foot down to the mat. And walking the feet all the way until you come to the very top of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Take the arms out in T position. Hinge from your hips. Come up. Bring your hands together and slowly lower the hands to the center of the heart. So that can be a challenge here, just trying to find a little bit of balance while we're stretching into the back of the legs, and just always looking and assessing where is your body. Does your body have a lot of flexibility? If it doesn't, that's fine. We can always move towards our inflexibility, and flexibility comes as well as strength. So listen and just pay attention so that you get the best stretch for you, trying not to force it because then we can maybe misalign. So from here, thumbs are right into the center of the heart. And we're going to take a step back with the right foot again. So raise both arms up. As we step back with the right foot, keep the left toes facing towards the front of your mat. And when you take the step back with your right foot, turn your right toes so they're facing more to the diagonal of the right side. Keep your left heel in alignment with the right foot. Open your arms out in T position. Turn your hips more towards the longer edge of the mat. Inhale, let the left hand stretch out. So tighten your left quadricep. Pull that left quad into your left hip and press the right hip back. So the right hip is moving to the back of your mat. The left hip is pushing in and pressing that left hip. Reach out with the left hand. Lower the hand down to your shin. Bring your right hand to your hip. Now tuck your tail under. So rotate the hips upward and raising the right arm up. If your arm is not able to go extend up, keep your right hand on your hip. So you don't want to force your arm to go up if it's the right shoulder is not stacked over the left. So working on your rotation to get that shoulder to come over in alignment with your left shoulder. The left hand should not be grabbing. You should be holding yourself up with your abdominal muscles. And then from here, look down at your left big toe and come back up. Bring your arms in T position. We're going to turn and face towards the back of the mat. So now the right toes turn towards the back of your mat. The right leg is straight. The right heel lines up now with the instep of your left toe. So turn your left toes so that they're facing more to the longer edge of the mat. And engage that right side. Tighten your right side. Pull it into your right hip so that pulls the left hip to the back. Reach out with your right hand, keeping your right leg straight. Lower the hand to the shin and lift the left arm up. Keep pulling that right hip back so to press the left hip out. And let the left arm go up. And again, if it's too intense, if you can't get the left shoulder over the right, keep your left hand on your left hip and let the left shoulder lift up, rolling the shoulders back and tucking the tail under. And you want to feel that you're not using your hand to hold you up. And look down at your right big toe. Take both arms out in T position. Come all the way up. And then turning your toes to face towards the front of your mat. So left toes turn. Bring both arms up. Bend your left leg and take your right foot to meet your left. And bring both hands back to center. And hold here. Nice deep inhale and exhale. So let's keep the thumbs right into the center of the heart. Put a slight bend in the knees and start to move your hips back. So when your knees bend, start to press your hips back as if you have an imaginary stool that's down behind you and you want to go and sit in. So this way you'll feel how far down you can go for your chair pose, but you want to make sure that you can see your toes. So the knees should not bend and go past the toes. They should go more back so that when you look down, you can see your toes. The toes are facing forward. The tailbone is pressing down. Tailbone is tucking under. And just take it to where you're comfortable with your chest lifted. So really squeeze your shoulder blades. Get the sensation of opening up through the chest. And then from here, take your arms out to the side and just sit down maybe a little lower. You're going to feel that work in those quadriceps. Those legs are working to hold you in the chair pose. Tuck your tail under. Straightening your legs. Inhale. Raise both arms all the way up. Exhale. Take the hands to the center of the heart. And just feel, just by doing that chair pose, feel that energy that started to increase within you. Hopefully you did feel a little bit more energy. Notice if you had to come out of the pose a lot. So coming out of the pose is okay, but you want to go back into it and you want to keep trying so that you can sustain holding it for several breaths. So let's raise both arms all the way up. And again, bringing the hands to prayer back into the center of the heart. We're going to take our chair pose once again. So knees bend, then push the hips back so that pulls the knees so that they're not over the toes. Get your tailbone down. Remember that imaginary stool. Tuck your tail under and keep your chest open. Breathing here. Just getting the feeling of the chest being expanded and of the hips pressing down, buttocks pressing down, tail tucking under. And then sweep the arms out to the side, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, and lift up and bring both hands back to center. Close your eyes and just breathe where you are. So we were working on doing a little bit of balance work while we were on the floor. So now we're going to balance on our feet, or one foot, one leg at a time. So we're going to do tree pose. So I'm going to turn to face you so that you can see how it looks. We're going to start balancing on the left foot first. So bring your hands in prayer. Keep your legs about hip distance apart. And just make sure that you feel the weight into both feet with your arches lifting and the ball mounds of your toes pressing down into the floor. Let the tailbone press down to the mat. So pull the navel into the back of the spine. And then we're going to shift over into the left leg. And you're going to take your right leg and start to bring that sole of the foot into your ankle. Try to let the toe lift up as best you can. But if you're just beginning and starting out with balancing poses, you can keep the big toe down, but eventually you want it to come and lift because we're balancing completely on one leg. And if that other toe is there supporting us, we're really not finding that full balance on that one side. So if you have to bring the toe down, try to lift it up, and you may be doing this constantly until you can find your balance. And eventually, once you find your balance and you can sustain with the sole of the foot to the side of your shin, you can eventually bring the sole of the foot up into your thigh. But for beginners, we want to keep just the sole of the foot down towards the shin and calf. And then slowly, if you're feeling steady on that left arm, raise the arms out and then reach them up. If you can, bring your hands to prayer, bring them together, interlace the thumbs, and lift and stretch up with the tips of your fingers. And breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, pull the hands to the chest and lower the right foot. And then just shake out that left leg. So it's been balancing on that left leg. You're going to feel the work in that left ankle and the foot. So shake it out and then come back to, with your legs hip distance apart, coming back to balancing on both feet, both legs. Feel your arches lifting. Feel your thighs engaged. Tuck your tail under. Bring your hands to prayer. Shift the weight over to the right leg and then letting that left leg lift. So the sole of the foot's going to come right to the ankle. The toes are maybe touching your ankle. If you need to, keep the big toe down, but try to keep the left foot touching somewhere on your ankle or your shin, the side of your shin. So your foot can just be slightly up. If you need to bring it down for balance, bring it down. Keeping both hips square, making sure your left knee is pulling back, so you don't want the knee to go forward. Open that left hip out, keeping both hips facing the front. Then if you're feeling balanced here on this side, maybe you feel it more balanced on this side, you can take the arms out. So just try, see where it takes you, and raise your arms up. Stretching up, bring the hands together, thumbs interlace. Lifting up through the tips of the fingers, stretch it up. Keeping both hips forward, left knee out to the side, bring the hands down to prayer. Inhale, exhale, lowering down, and shaking out your right leg. Come to face now the middle of your mat, or the front of your mat, if you're not already there, and lift your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, long spine. Take your hands to your shins. Slide down and really feel that hinging motion. So it's important to get that understanding that we hinge from the hips. Keep going down, pulling your shoulders back. And then in order to get your hands to touch the floor, you may have to bend your knees. For that to happen, step your legs back and come down onto your knees. And we're going to cross the legs behind us. So as you cross your legs, if you have very tight hips, you might want to sit on your block. Whatever angle of the block helps you lift the floor up so that your hips will be able to open. So you can sit on your block and let your heel stay in close to the block, in towards the groin, and just let the knees draw down. Tailbone stays tucked under. Keep your hands right onto your knees, and just let those hips open up. So if you don't need the block, if you have pretty open hips open inner thighs, you may be able to sit right down onto the floor and sit up nice and tall. So we want to maintain that straight spine. Shoulders move down away from the ears, and let's raise the arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, open the arms and take a twist turning to the right. Let your left hand come to the right knee and the right hand behind you. Press down into that right palm. Try to keep it in close. Even if the arm goes back, that's fine, but you want to not let the arm go back and then lean back into the arm. So you want to get your back to be straight. Rotate your chest, twisting, bringing the crown, keeping the crown of the head over your tailbone. And let your eyes close here. Just enjoy this twist. As you close your eyes, feel your breath as it moves in and out. Make sure that you're listening to the sound that your breath is making. And then let your eyes open. Release both arms up and take your twist, opening the arms, twisting to the left, right hand to the knee, left hand behind. Lengthen your spine. Make sure the knees are drawing down. Chest is open, and let that chin just move towards your left shoulder. Breathe here. Close your eyes. And just let go. Each exhalation releases any tightness and tension. Maybe once you release that tension, you can move a little further back, but pay attention to your own body. Then allow the eyes to open. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, rotating forward. Bring your hands back in front of you. And we're going to fold forward. So keep the hips pulling back. Keep your shoulders pulling back. So when we come down, we want the motion to come from the hips. So you want to rock your hips forward. So it's not rounding the back. So we're not moving the back, rounding the back, caving the chest in. We're rocking forward and back, keeping the chest open. So just see where your hands can slide forward without rounding through your back. Keep those fingers spread wide and keep tucking your tail under. Feel the stretch opening in through the lower back. Keep pulling your shoulders down away from the ears and just get that deep stretch. And then just lift up. Come on to the fingertips, come up a little higher, walk your hands over to the right, and then just press the chest towards that right thigh. Let that left hip start to open, so feel that left rib cage getting a little stretch here, and move your chest towards your right thigh with the back long. Lift up, take the fingertips onto the floor, walk it over to the left side, and then just move yourself down. Back is long, so we're not rounding, we're not dropping the chin. The crown of the head is in alignment with your tailbone. So you're pressing your right buttock down, pulling the hip away from the rib cage to stretch into the right side of your body. And then come back onto the fingertips, walk it forward. However you can manage, you're going to come to the front of your mat. And as you scoot your butt towards the front of your mat, we're going to come to lie down onto our back. And as you lie down on your back, bring your heels in close to your buttocks. Let your right ankle come on top of your left thigh, and let your right knee just open up. Draw your navel into the back of the spine. So you want to avoid that arch in your lower back. So if you feel that arch, come into a pelvic tilt by lifting your pelvis up and pulling your navel into the back of the spine. So your back flattens down into the mat. So you're stretching into the right hip. Bring both hands down onto the floor. Then allow the left knee to lift off the mat, pressing that left thigh into your right ankle. And just get a stretch. Use your left ankle as the way to open into your right hip. And then let that left foot come down to the floor and let your right foot come down. Both knees are bent. And release your belly. So find that lower back relaxing back into its natural curve. And we're going to open now the left hip. So pull the navel into the back of the spine. Let that lower back flatten. You'll feel that pelvic tilt automatically happening. Taking the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And let your left knee fall open. Keep squeezing the navel into the spine, the back of your spine, to let the lower back stay flat on the floor. And then when you're ready, picking up the right leg, pressing that thigh into the left ankle, and keeping the lower back down. So keeping the tilt in the pelvis, trying to prevent the arch in the lower back. Use the right leg to strengthen and open up that left hip. And then lower the foot down to the floor and take your left foot down off the side. Bring both hands onto your belly and let your shoulders relax, let your arms relax. Close your eyes. And as your eyes close, just watch how your breath travels into the belly, while watching it travel and expanding into the bottom of the rib cage till it comes all the way up through the diaphragm, upper chest. And then let that belly recede, relaxing through the rib cage into the upper chest. Inhale, pressing the belly into your palm, filling up the whole lower rib cage into the diaphragm, upper chest. And then let that belly relax, relaxing through the rib cage, the diaphragm, the upper chest. And just watch as your breath moves. Keep that connection to the breath moving in this little bit of a wave. Feel the body relaxing. So sometimes as we take our focus into something that we're doing, another part of the body may start to tense up. So just try to relax every part of your body as you just focus on the breath. And then on your next exhale, pull your knees into your chest and rock gently side to side. Just massage your back. And let's send the left leg straight out onto the floor, hugging the right knee into the chest. Take hold of the outside of your right knee with your left hand and bring your right arm in T position. Draw your navel into the back of the spine. So you're going to feel a little arch in the back, but you really want to contract the belly, trying to press the sacrum down. Inhaling as you do that, and then on your exhale, let that right knee release over to the left. Try to keep your right shoulder down onto the floor and just let that right knee move down. Look over the fingers of your right hand if that feels comfortable for you. So if turning your head is uncomfortable, just keep the head up facing center, and then just close your eyes. And breathe into any tightness so that you can relax that tightness and tension. And let it go out of your body with each exhale. If your head is turned, bring it back up center. Slowly take the right leg up and hug the left leg in. Make any adjustments you need to as the right leg extends out, and hugging that left knee in, take hold of the outside of the left knee with the right hand. Bring the left arm in T out to the side, shoulder down. Inhale, squeeze the navel into the back of the spine. Exhale, let that left knee gently be guided over to the right now. Left shoulder stays down and just relax. So you may notice the twists on both sides differ, or maybe they're very similar. But once you get into that place, try to let go. If you're okay and comfortable turning the gaze to look to the left, look left. If not, just keep your head center, but let your eyes close and just breathe into the twist. Maybe feeling with each exhale a deep release. So that's what we want to feel, is we can hold the pose and really reside within the pose. Bring your head back to center. Slowly take that left leg up. Hug the right knee into your chest and gently rock it out from side to side. Nice gentle massage on your lower back. So let's place both feet down to the floor. We're going to finish up in bridge pose. So if you have a block and you'd like to use the block, you can place the block underneath your lower back for a supported bridge. So you want to start with the lower edge of the lower part of your block. Unless you're a little more advanced, you can go to the medium edge or maybe even coming to the higher edge. But since this is a beginner's class, let's just take it to the flatter part of your block, and you want your sacrum to lower onto the block. And just let your arms rest here with your eyes closed. So when you're supported in your bridge pose, you're really not letting your legs help you or your hips help you to keep lifted. You're kind of letting all the energy just fall into the block, but you're getting the benefit of a back bend here. If you want to, you can lift your hips up slightly and then remove the block and just stay here. So we'll just, whatever you prefer, I'm going to fold here. So if you're in the supported bridge and you're relaxing on your block, stay there. But if you're in your bridge, see if you can get those hips up a little higher if you're in an unsupported bridge pose. And then slowly we're going to release our back down. So if you're on your block, take it away from your sacrum and lower each vertebra down to the floor. Once you come down, one last hug with those knees pulling into the chest and rock gently side to side. So now we'll take the time to come in and find our relaxation posture, Shavasana, known as corpse pose. So you want to extend your legs out, make any adjustments with your clothing, your body, so that you're not fidgeting around when you're lying still. If you find it difficult and challenging to keep your legs straight, you can take some support underneath the back of your legs, like a large blanket or a bolster, and that will bring your pelvis a little closer to the floor and may help you feel that you're able to relax more. But if you're able to just stay on your back and let go here, the back will stay in that little bit of an arch, a little bit of a curve here. And open your arms so that they come out comfortable, where you feel relaxed, no strain. So the arms should not be way out to the side and T, but pretty much halfway. And squeeze your shoulder blades together, let your chest lift, and then relax the shoulders. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling, and then just let your eyes close. And as your eyes are closed, just draw your awareness of your eyes to the middle of your eyebrows. And once they're into the middle of your eyebrows, you're probably noticing that the eyes may feel a little cross-eyed a little bit. Just let those eyes, as they focus to the middle of the eyebrows, look upward towards the sky. So they're still closed. And you're just concentrating on the third eye, the place of intuition. So just let your focus be on that third eye as you relax your facial muscles. Feel your lips part open slightly so your jaw is able to relax and release any tension that you might feel in your jaw throughout your whole face. Let the muscles soften. Feel the back of your head on the floor and let your shoulders really pull away from the ears. Let your arms relax completely, softening through the hands and fingertips. And let your belly soften and release, letting your hips open. Feel your buttocks as they touch the earth. Relax your pelvis, your thighs. Let the knees soften and relax your shins, calves, your ankles, heels, and toes. And just take a mental notice of your body. If you feel any tension anywhere, direct your awareness to that tension and send the breath there with your next exhale. Let it all go. And if you still feel that you're a little tight in any areas, just continue to observe where they are. Send the breath there with the exhale. Let it go. And you may find that you're doing this quite often until eventually you feel your whole body relaxing completely. So this is the time that we integrate all the work that we've done. So you want to remain here in Shavasana for another few more minutes. Just breathe slowly, allowing every muscle to relax more deeply, surrendering away all the does not serve you. Being open and prepared, ready to receive all the healing energy from your practice. Our practice allows us to open up so that we're in this place of receiving, having the ability to receive. Stay here and just relax completely. Allow the sound to move through all the space that you've created, feeling subtle vibration. Taking a moment to just notice how you're feeling. Know that this is the result of the effort you put into your practice today. Start to very slowly, gently move your fingers and your toes, feeling that movement coming into your body. Taking a nice deep inhale, stretch your arms over your head and reach the toes forward. Get a nice deep stretch as if awakening from a beautiful sleep. And then hugging your knees, pulling them into your chest. Rock it out nice and slow. Feel the massage entering into your lower back. And when you're ready, roll your whole body all the way over to the right side, just hugging the knees into your chest. Rest your head on your inner right arm and just let your left hand come in front of your chest on the floor. To stay here, remain for another moment or two. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. Very slowly and gently, keeping your eyes closed, press into the left palm and guide yourself up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall, bringing your thumbs into the center of your heart, taking a moment just to notice your heart beating. And let us close our practice with one Om, sealing in what we've learned, sealing in what we've gained from our practice this morning, and always knowing that once we've understood something, it stays with us. We just need to go back to that understanding. With practice, it becomes more familiar and more attainable. Taking one more deep breath in as we chant Om. Om. And slowly, gently bow your head, drawing your chin to your chest as you bow to the light and love that shines within you. Know that that light and love shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining in this morning. I hope you had a nice practice, and hopefully you will join us next time. Have a great day.